Okay, we're going to go ahead and look at 10.1, sequences as functions, part 1. And the first thing is to look at the definition of sequence. To see what a sequence is, it's the set of numbers in a particular order. This first example, let's identify the arithmetic sequence. So we have a particular order, so we think, 7, 12, 16, and 20. So the first term is denoted as a sub 1, which is 7. So that's our first term. And we want to go for an arithmetic sequence, so we want to see if there's a pattern. To see if there's a pattern, we take the next term, which is 12, a sub 2, and we subtract a sub 1 from it. Whatever that pattern is, that becomes our common difference. And we want to check it out and see if I subtract the next one from the previous and see if it gives me the same number. So in this particular pattern, it is 5, because 20 subtract from 16 is 5. Therefore, it is arithmetic. If you can add or subtract a number throughout from beginning to the end, and it gives you the next number pattern, that is an arithmetic sequence. So let's take a look at our next example. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers 8, 11, 4, and we're supposed to find the next 4 numbers. So let's see if there's an arithmetic sequence here. So 11, take away 8. Oh, my bad, it's 18. Is negative 7, and if I follow through, it does come into play that negative 7 is the pattern. So if we follow this arithmetic sequence of my common difference being negative 7, we get the next 4. So that's how you figure out the sequence. And then to graph it, these numbers here are known as f of x, which is the y values. And if I go ahead and erase this piece here and work with the first term, second, the number of terms in my sequence, those become my x. Well, as you know, an x and y value become an ordered pair. So like x and y. So we can graph that. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. And then to graph this, we'll go ahead and go by 5. So that's by going by ones. 1, 3, 5, 7. And then we'll go ahead and go by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So let's go ahead and plot. Here are my x values. Here's my f of x values. So when we plot the points, we end up with 1 and 18. And then 2 and 11, 5. These are going by 5s. And then for the third term, it's 3 and 4. And for the fourth term, it's negative 3, so below the origin. At 5, it's negative 10. At 6, it's negative 17. At 7, it's negative 24. And as you can see, it's linear, but do not connect the points. Okay, so there's our function. Let's go on to the next example. Our next example, we have Winter Springs Marching Band. In the first performance, we have 3 and etc. And then it's asking us for the fourth performers, how many performers in the 14th row. We're going to use something called point slope form, because all we have is our common difference, which is our slope, and it's increasing by 2. We have an ordered pair where in the first term we have 1 performer. In the second term we have 3 performers, or in the second row. And so we'll just use that point. We could have used other point as well. I believe we could have used 3 and 5 for the third row having 5 performers. And then we're going to take point slope. If that's all we have, we're going to use the point slope form. So that's what we call point slope form. And let's substitute what we have here. We have y minus y sub 1, which is 3, equals my slope of 2, x minus x sub 1 of 2. And then when we do the math, we end up with y minus 3 equals 2x minus 4. Add the 3 over. We end up with y equals 2x minus 1. So we end up with a linear function. And now the question is, though, how many performers at the 14th round? Well, 14th row, we are trying to find how many performers. So we're going to substitute that in for x. So y equals 2 times 14 minus 1. That's going to lead us to 27 performers. Okay. And then our last example. We have Aaliyah, and she is getting paid $9 an hour. She's lucky to get a raise of 15 cents every 3 months. She wants to know how much will she have after 3 years. She must be saving for something. Well, because the original word problem is in every 3 months, we need to figure out how many months we have. So there are 12 months in 1 year. And there are 3 years, so which means 36 months for 3 years. But it's every 3 months she gets a raise, so we're going to divide that by 3. That means she's only going to get a raise 12 times. So let's see if we can figure this out. She wants to know how much she's going to get paid if she gets $9 an hour plus her 15 cents for 12 times she'll get paid that raise. So she ends up with $10.80 per hour. Okay. All right, as always, if you need to rewind, replay, please do so.